Well, hey everyone, welcome to the southern section of the Big Sur Coast. We are just south of a place called Pacific Valley at a cool little cove to beach called Sand Dollar Beach. Unfortunately, there's no sand dollars down here tonight because the tide is actually moving in to us. And what I want to do, it's going to be hard, but I'm going to have Beri swing around kind of towards the sun. And you're going to see sort of the frame I'm looking at wanting to shoot. Obviously the sun is too high, but using photo pills, we've calculated that the sun will be going into those rocks you saw on the right, and the plan is to kind of get the sun as it's nipping against the top of those rocks and maybe get a starburst. That could be a frame. We're going to try some different things as the light's happening. We were hoping for some clouds. There are some high cirrus. They will tend to burn off when we get into the last half hour, 20 minutes before sunset. They tend to go away because it's a temperature difference that creates them. And as the temperature starts to moderate up in the air and down on the land, those tend to dissipate. So that's the plan. We are about, right now, 40 minutes out from sunset. It's a beautiful day. We basically got the beach all to ourselves. There's one surfer who just went out on his own. Beri's very worried about him, but we'll keep an eye on him. We'll catch up with you when it's starting to get to be go time here. Okay, so we're just about 18 to 20 minutes out from sunset. What I'm doing now is the sun is off on its own, away from the rocks. I'm not sure, I may need to move forward and use another rock. I'll kind of play that by ear as we get closer to the critical time. But I'm actually going to shoot a couple of frames of the sun to the left of the rock. And it's balanced by the big rocks that are out there. And we got a surfer deciding to join us in our frame here. But we're just going to have to make do. And I'm going to actually walk around here, change my positioning. Now that's not going to really help much. So let's walk down here and see what we got. And I'm looking for the foreground and trying to get the sun to move to the right of my position, but I'm running out of beach to do that. And by the way, we are coming into a high tide at not till 8:20, which is 2 hours past sunset. Sunset's roughly about 6:26, and it is about 6:12 right now, but the tide is coming in, so I have to be very aware of that. Hoping we don't get a sneaker wave, which is double the wave height. The waves aren't very high. I may actually come here because I could use this rock to pinch the sun a little bit. So I'm going to go back and grab my gear and we're going to come up. And what I'm talking about is pinching the sun. If I can get the sun at f/16 on a hard edge, I can get a nice sun star. So these are, with clear sky days, you got to think a little bit outside the box. And that's always a little technique that works well. Ansel Adams always talked about on a clear sky day, minimize it or eliminate it altogether. So let me see what I'm getting here. And I'm going to even go to f/22, and there is a sun star. So I'm going to, now as I'm looking at the sun, it's moving to my right. If I was down in the southern hemisphere, it would be moving to your left. So that's always something that kind of trips up people. They don't know which way. They just think the sun drops straight down, and it doesn't. It goes on an angle. And really, it's not moving, we're moving, we're rotating. So we're rotating to the left of that sun. So I'm going to try to pinch it a little more and get a little bit better. I'm going to bracket some exposures. I'm watching my highlight. Histogram is up, and I'm watching my highlight. And just let me know if a wave's coming in, okay? And I'm not super excited about this composition, so I'm gonna, if I push too much, we're gonna have depth of field issues. So I'm at ISO 100, f22, 1/160th of a second. This is the other thing I see people in workshops, they get really upset if somebody's walking in their frame. They don't know. They don't know what you're framing, so I just always ask them nice. And you know what? 99% of the time, they work with you. Okay, so that's a shot. Let me see if I move here now. I'm still trying to pinch it right off the rock that's in front of me. I don't know if this one's going to work. And you just got to kind of subtly move left, right, up, down. Especially when you're on a tripod. I could really handhold this. I'm at 1/160th right now. So it's not like I'm holding that, you know, a half a second or 1 second. And I may actually try that. This will give me a little more freedom to, I see the problem, the sun's hit a cloud out there. That's why we're not getting the bright burst on it. But that's okay. Go with what nature throws you. That's another thing I just see some photographers in my workshop really upset because what they had in their minds didn't materialize, and so they kind of give up on the whole shoot. So I was thinking these clouds were going to burn away. I can't tell now. They're sitting right where the sun is, and that you need clear sky all the way, not to have the sun come through a cloud. There, I got a little bit of a one. And I do deal with an essential trimmer, but today it seems to be not too bad. I'm going to pinch that a little more. It's coming through that cloud now, so this is actually starting to work, this composition. And I'm going to check to see what I've got. Yeah, actually, that's really pretty. Okay, here comes the water. So this is what we got to be aware of too, that, as I said, that tide's moving in. Always check your tides before you come down on any beach, especially a beach like this where it's coved. You need to know where your escape routes are, all that good stuff. I'm going to put this back on a tripod. So I think one of the key things is, this is true with all the landscape photography, stay very, very flexible, you guys. Because rarely are the conditions going to be what you have thought of when you were coming to the location. So always be willing to adjust on the fly. And I'm exposing for the highlights out there, and in processing, I am going to pull up the shadows. I'm working with the Sony A7R5. It's got a lot of latitude on this sensor, but no sensor is as good as the human eyes. We will probably get there one of these days, but here comes another wave I've got to watch. I don't want to go home with wet feet. Yeah, they're breaking closer. Oh, there's a nice starburst right now. I love this frame. This one's really nice. Beri, can you get right in on here and see if they can see that? That's the kind of light I'm getting, and you're seeing the rocks are very black. And I'm watching the waves. It's trying to stop us from getting wet feet. There's another good starburst. I'm going to move just a smidgen to my right and get the star a little bit better. Check the time, it's 6:20. I've seen reports of 6:26 to 6:29 it'll be completely down. But this is really kind of the go time for me right now, because I'm about 9 minutes out that I can play with the sun. And if it's not a sharp star that you want, simply move a little bit and pinch it more against the... And I've actually gone to f22 right now. I'm at 1/80th of a second, f22, 100 ISO, no filter, took the polarizer off. I did bring an ND tonight, but I'm not so sure it's going to work. But I'm going to give it a try, because that's why I brought it. So let's see if I can get this guy on here quick enough. And this is a 5-stop Stingray neutral density filter, and it's going to allow me to open up, drag the shutter 5 more stops. So I was at 180, so we're going to go to 40, 20, 10, 1/5, and I'm at about 1/4 of a second now. And I'm losing the star because the sun's back into... Oh, here it comes back. It keeps darting in and out of those clouds. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my ISO down to 50, and that'll allow me to get a little more blur. So I'm now at 1.3 seconds. And you don't know, you just keep shooting. You know, if I can come away with this shoot with one good usable frame, I'm happy. And so should you. We're not making a year's worth of photos out here in one shoot. We're trying to get the best of the light, the best of the conditions. And I think I'm going to drag that shutter a little more, so I'm going to go to 2 seconds now. Because as the sun drops, so does the illumination on those rocks out there. So it's a balance. Well, so much for dry shoes. Oh well. I didn't get too much here. Let me get back into position. Yeah, the tide's really coming up now. Gotta find that sun star. There it is. Pinch it. It's in a cloud again. See, to me, I've seen photographers get frustrated at these moments. Oh, why is that cloud out there? There goes my chance at a sun star. I think it's cool. Just react to what nature is giving you, and then use your creativity to say, what could I do here with the elements I'm given, and the clock's ticking, and the waves are coming up and getting us wet. But to me, this is the fun part of it all. Even if I try pinching it right now, it's right into it. So what I'm going to do is actually try to shoot a frame with the whole sun before it goes down. So I'm not pinching it on the rocks anymore. And I'm giving about 1/3 to the sky. I've got my rule of third grid lines up. And bracketing some exposures. I'm at 3 seconds now. F22, that's going to give some good motion in that water. Really, anything after a second, it's hard to tell the difference. I'm going to play it back, but that's looking really pretty. It's actually creating a mist glow where the sun is hitting the water out there. Once again, I think I'm at 3.2 seconds. Yeah, F22, 50 ISO, but I have that 5-stop neutral density on. And that sun's getting right onto the horizon. And once it goes, the shoot's going to be pretty much over. If there were clouds up in the sky, I would broaden out and get the clouds would be lit by now, but there's nothing up there. So what I'm going to do very quickly here, well, I'm not going to be able, I was going to go into video mode, but I'm not going to be able to now. So I'm just going to stay in still mode, and we'll let the video cameras that we're using out here capture what's going on. Okay, so the sun now is right on the horizon, and it is 6:25. Now, when you get a sunset time, that's not when the sun hits the horizon, that's when the top tip of the sun is going below the horizon. I didn't know that when I first started doing landscape, oh gosh, years and years and years ago. Become a little mini meteorologist, guys. The more you can learn about weather, the more you tilt the odds in your favor. And gosh, that's a pretty frame. I'm really happy with this frame. I'm going to tighten the composition just a little bit more. F22, I'm trying to find where I can keep this foreground rock sharp and those background rocks sharp. And this is what you guys need to be doing. Now half the sun is down. So that could be real pretty too. And as soon as that sun goes down, I'm going to pretty much be done. Another beautiful frame. And yes, everything's sharp. At F22, I'm getting very, very nice, sharp edges. So again, you come down early, an hour before, you anticipate where the sun's going to go. Photo pills was off a little bit, but oh well. And now the tip of the sun is just about going, and it's 5:27, and let me move up here out of the way, and I'll give you my final thoughts, and then we're going to pack up and get going. So I hope what you guys learned and what I tried to, by talking you through my thought process, is I got here early, used an app called Photo Pills, sensed where the sun was going down. I was hoping they were going to go more against those rocks. But it didn't. So now I adapt. I got to adapt. What's my foregrounds? Always think foreground. If I got a beautiful background, this is the southern Big Sur Coast. It doesn't get much more beautiful than this. Force yourself to find that foreground, because you're going to create depth. We want to always create the illusion of depth. This is captured in 2D, and we're wanting to do 3D. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. We're going to plan to do a lot more of these. And until next time, take care.